I Saw the Devil is a Korean action thriller film directed by Kim Ji-woon and released on August 12th of 2010. The premise is that an NIS agent's fiancé is found brutally murdered by a serial killer played by Old Boy and is given time off to cope with his loss. Instead of taking a sweet relaxing vacation, however, our hero, Lee, gradually plots his revenge against the monster that took the love of his life from him, essentially turning the tables and tormenting a psychopath. Now, when I first attained this film, I was under the impression that it was a horror film, and I do suppose that you could technically call it one. Naturally, I Saw the Devil immediately sounds like some kind of demonic possession thing, but it's about as much of a horror as Silence of the Lambs. It's centered on the escapades of a serial killer, so there is a decent amount of gritty violence and gore intermingled with brutal action, but it's certainly not a spook flick by any means. So you could consider this a rare review of a non-horror product from Atomic Outlander. I found myself incredibly impressed by this film. I was actually itching for another viewing before I decided on this review. The opening alone is delightfully strong right off the bat, throwing you right into the action with an immediate sense of immersion. The performances are extremely remarkable, particularly that of our leads. Choi Min-suk, renowned for playing the titular character, I guess, of Old Boy, plays an intensely unforgiving and irredeemably vicious serial killer in a manner that frankly should be iconic by now, maybe even up there with Ted Levine and Anthony Hopkins. The writing is spectacular. The film's dialogue is, if you'll pardon my lame crassness, simply epic. Following Lee on his secretive quest to utterly destroy his fiance's killer makes for such a beautifully executed story. It's honestly fucking tense. You truly can't predict what will happen next. You'll sure as shit try, as I certainly did, but this thing goes everywhere. You don't know which way things will break or who for, and that turns the experience of I Saw the Devil into its own delightful gem. Cinematography is surprisingly exceptional. There are many fantastic shots performed in this film that add terrific depth and artistic charm to it. Production is remarkable, each set is very well done in every capacity. The soundtrack is a bit Asia Dramatica, but it is the kind of thing that doesn't distract or take away from the final product. In closing, I Saw the Devil is an amazing piece of Korean cinema that will certainly remain in my library. The thing is, I'm not sure what class or group in particular I would recommend it to. Do you like gore, violence, action, serial killers, subtitles? Give her a spin and you won't regret it. Worth every second.